listening to the Getting Salty Experience podcast.
Oh, and away we go. Welcome to the Getting Salty Experience podcast. It may very well be our last podcast tonight, as we got a bunch of crazy jackos on tonight, and we might get thrown off the air, Pete. Who knows what happens?
Pete,
Pete. Whatever.
Pete looks like he's, what did Ray say? He's passing a clot?
He's passing a clot.
It's been a long day, boys.
He had a very long day. Don't pick on Petey tonight. He might go postal on you.
Nah.
He may go postal.
Nah.
Well, welcome back. We got a motley crew tonight. Yep, we got a call to the bullpen. So if you like fire stories and you like ball breaking, it was already bedlam in the pre-show. Guys were breaking each other ball round robin.
They probably shot their load early, though, given their age.
Look at Petey.
Look at Pete.
He comes out shooting when they're not around. You know what I mean?
I save it for the fucking show. That's what I do.
Oh, he does. Look,
hit him again.
That's
two.
There you go.
Two.
Yep, you give Tootie a couple of those.
Jabs.
Meet Jack Johnson. And what was that line in that movie? Fuck it. Do it live.
Jabs.
I don't know.
Do it live.
Yeah. Is this Roofy's first show back after he's out?
I wasn't even supposed to be home. I came home because it snowed.
He passed on a couple of bucks. I can tell you that. He let a couple of
what
big
happened,
ones
Lou?
go
Tell
by.
us everything. Tell us how
it
went.
Tell us a sad story, how you let him go. Because you thought you got a little greedy, maybe.
I always get greedy. That's what happens.
But you got greedy.
I got meat. I got a dough, so I'm happy.
Tell us. We want to hear the sad story, though. Tell us how it went.
What happened? You see a big buck. You say to yourself, it's early in the trip. I think I could possibly get a bigger one, and then the bigger one doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Did it bother you? Was it upsetting?
Was it triggering? Did it trigger you?
You took the word out of my mouth. Did it trigger you?
What was the one with your brother, Kevin, in the thing that Petey did in the video? Like
what?
When your brother was
it's not all right, and you're gonna be all right, but you're not all right.
No.
This one, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Are you feeling like this?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine.
That was the one, yeah.
They ask you however you say you're fine, but you're not really fine.
You're not really fine, but
you
I'm
know
fine.
what that's like,
I'm
Rookie?
fine.
It's like you're at the bar, right? And a couple of hot chicks coming around 10, right? And you're like, I think something else is coming in better than that, right? And then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. You're walking out with some sow, and you're like, I should have left for 10 o'clock, bro.
I should have went for a bird in the hand, right? A bird in the hand. So
bird in the hand, bro.
Depending on what we're talking about, you know what I mean? We're 2 in the bush. But
well, Lou, you know what? You got meat in the freezer.
I do.
That's all that matters.
Is that code for something? Meat in the freezer? You got meat in the freezer.
I sent you the picture.
Gary!
Well, forget about the picture. Send me some pepperoni. You know what I mean?
Right.
Send your buddy, your pal, your lifelong chum.
2 in the bush.
So wait, you got a dough. How much? How can that? Is that dough just going to be able to last you the whole winter? Or
I usually get 2 to 3, but this year I only got 1. It's just that's how it worked out. Yeah.
Ooh. Is it already being processed and everything?
No, it's just quartered up. I just got home last night at 10 o'clock, so I got to bring it to the place.
It's going to be tough to make it through the winter. You might have to sell those curtains or something. I don't know. Curtains on sale. Drapes.
White House curtains. White House drapes. Don't do that. Your old lady will kill you.
Oh, man.
Come on,
Rosie would be mad.
Her mother made those drapes. I'm not even kidding.
Her mother made those?
I'm not kidding. Those are Gindaloons, right out of the Gindaloon textbook, baby.
Oh, yeah, man. Yep.
If you guys could see, I got the picture of Jesus over there. I got.
Come on, you do. You got the Mary and a half shell somewhere in the front.
I don't have a Mary and a half shell.
Oh, how can you have a house with no Mary and a half shell?
I don't know. I don't. I got the American flag on the big pole. That's what I got, baby.
I got a big pole and an American flag too.
Look at Petey.
There you go.
So let me get this straight.
Welcome up.
He rested the whole time in the pre-show. That's what it was. He was just resting.
That's what I'm doing.
And now, when the big guns come out, right now, you're going to see this. Watch like this.
Yeah.
He's going.
I got a boner. I'm ready to go.
Like Davy Crockett, he gets one shot off and that's it. He's like a musket man. And he's got.
That's all I need.
By the time he gets.
That's all I need. God damn it!
All right.
All right,
let's
so,
get him in here. Why don't we do our commercials? Do our whole
exactly.
things, You know what you can do instead of buying stuff? You know what I mean? Do me a favor. You call a couple of friends and tell them to watch the goddamn show. Send them the link. It's not that hard to do, man. We're getting stuck here around under 30,000. You can't call a couple of friends for us? I mean, Louis only got one dough, for Christ's sake, this year. Help him out a little bit.
His family has to eat.
Call a couple of friends and say, watch the show. Even if they're not firemen. Watch this show. It's very funny.
We're not that funny.
What the hell?
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who's already going off in the super chat. That's Justin Davidson. Let's see who else. Terry Riley, Mike C, and Paul Trippy Jr. From Dunkirk, New York, he says. So, and Mike C again. Dude, thank you guys so much. That's if you guys want to help out the show, that's one of the best ways to help out the show. That's in the super chat. All right, you guys can donate there, and that is our bread and butter right there. That is you guys being our #1 sponsors, but also GettingSaltyApparel.com. You guys, you know the deal. Oh, I see there's wives.
Look at this.
I see there are wives in the.
Look at this beer. Look at salty.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, well, you get that glass. You can have this hat at GettingSaltyApparel.com. You can get the one Lou's wearing, perhaps. I don't know. And what else do you got? Oh, stay low and go mug. You got hoodies, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, the whole nine. So head on over to GettingSaltyApparel.com. And Christmas is right around the corner. You're engraving like crazy, no?
Yeah, Louis got me chained up to the engraving table down there. Like 8 hours a day.
I tell you,
it's like a sweatshop.
Unbelievable.
Boy, that's how it is.
I want to shoot myself down there.
I'm like, what do you? And you know what he does every year?
I'm not doing it next year. That's what I say every year. I'm not doing it next year.
He's going to shoot himself in the leg, so he can't stand there.
What do I say? At the end in January, he says to me, "I can't do this anymore. It's fucking 8 hours a day. People, I say, all right, we'll get somebody just to engrave. It's fine. We'll just do it for the month, 2 months, November, December.
I can't. I'm so greedy.
So head on over to GettingSaltyApparel.com, ladies and gentlemen. GettingSaltyApparel.com.
And personalize everything.
Oh my God!
And send it
just
after,
know when
send
you're
it after today because you ain't getting it by Christmas.
Just know that when you personalize something, you're personally hurting Coobs.
Coobs. Mike Nacho said, "Bring out that midget." I already did. Right. What are you talking about?
All right. We're gonna get these guys in here. Then we gotta do the pledge when we get them in because that's
all right. No commercials tonight. We got no commercials tonight.
No, we did them all on Monday just in case you couldn't pull this one off. So that's it.
Oh, good. All right, let's bring the two jack-offs and Big Fat Daddy Ray out here. Fat with a PH, bro.
Okay, let's. Who you want to bring in
this
first?
In this corner, weighing 200 pounds, Fat Daddy Ray. There he is.
Nice.
240 pounds of stainless steel and sex appeal right here, brothers.
Whoa.
And he rhymes.
Stainless steel and sex appeal. I like it.
An old guy can rhyme.
All right.
Who's next?
Let's bring in. You pick. Who do you want to bring in? The little guy?
All right. Let's bring in the
Go in height order. Go in height order.
Chief Crocker.
There he is.
Look at the bobblehead.
That's right.
He's got his own bobblehead, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that. Look at the head on there.
Dude, those things shine exactly the same.
Wow. Who is that? Uncle Fester? What is that? He's got to put a light bulb in his mouth.
He's out.
And bring him in, Kev. Bring him in. Bring in our last man.
Let's bring in the other guy.
Here he is, baby.
The guy who got me this shirt right here, bro. Bring him in.
The head jag-off.
The head jag-off.
Oh.
Hey, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, guys?
What do you say there, Bill?
Mo. What do you say, Mo?
What's it, Mo?
All right there, Mike.
Look at the head on that fucking guy, will you?
Oh, my God.
Me? How can I miss
He's
it?
like me.
Mike the rookie.
Mike
the town red.
I got the sheen coming off his head.
It's blinding you. You're not talking about me, are you? No.
You got a pretty good sheen.
I do, right?
Yeah.
All right, so before we get started,
this is all about, we got to do the pledge, but this is going to be a basic fire stories and ball breaking show. So if you got hurt feelings, go find your safe place and turn the fucking computer off.
It's safe for you.
Yes, it's safe for you. This show ain't for you because I'm going with whatever my son made me. Roofy's already into the tell him or do. What do you got?
Tell him I'll do.
Tell him or Jew?
For the Irish.
Oh, good dude.
A couple Irish.
Nice.
Ray, what do you got there, Ray?
I'm doing Kentucky Mules.
Kentucky Mules.
Nice.
Oh, I think the Chief's got a beer over there on his little
me. I'm a whore. This is nothing but tea, brother. I'll stunt my growth.
Oh, they can sell you to insomniacs.
Holy shit. I got a beer, dirt piss, whatever.
Coop, should I hit him with the joke?
That is wrong.
And he did the wrong thing.
Which
should I hit him with the joke? The one I hit the Chief with?
Yeah. The one that guy told you in the bar?
Yeah, I said to the Chief when I was away hunting in Illinois, there was a guy. I said, one of the guys was drinking Bush beer. So I said to the Chief, "What are you drinking?" He's like, "Bud Light." I said, "Chief, you know what the difference between a clitoris and Bud Light is?" He goes, "What?" I said, "Clitoris only tastes like piss for a second."
That's gonna somehow be the joke that gets us kicked off after all the shit we said. Like that's the one. Some purple-haired, unicorn-haired feminist at YouTube is gonna be like, "These motherfuckers!" I looked into I said they have something called the Salty Awards.
No, I just want to tell you.
Come on.
I was talking to the CFD chaplain, the old chaplain. He said he's going to count my F-bombs, and I told him I was going to behave.
Sorry, chaplain.
No.
Fuck it. Everything's off the table now.
Chaplain Charlie. All right, Pete, before we get a little crazy over here, we got to do a couple things. We got to do the pledge because we are patriotic sons of guns.
Well, Chaplain Charlie says you have to do the pledge. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the pledge. And by the way, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beautiful. All right, so our two esteemed guests. Oh, he was standing up.
He was.
Nobody can tell.
He's standing up now.
He's standing up.
He gave us the old crutch shot, the important, ever important crutch shot.
Sit down, Mitch.
Let me give a.
He's like this. Sitting on a blanket.
Oh my!
And not only that, but I ain't shitting you. I got a cutting board that this computer's sitting on as well, so I can see.
I like the honesty. I like the blatant honesty. I like
it. Is. I pay for people who are listening and can't see our handsome faces. Chief Mike Timothy and Chief Mitch Crooker are from Chicago. A couple of jackoffs from Chicago.
Battalion chiefs, both battalion chiefs.
Both battalion
chiefs. 30 years.
Beef. Yeah, 30. And we got Fat Daddy Ray, 108 truck.
30 years
Squad 270, 30 years FDNY. Was my boss. And my good friend who steamrolls me at jobs, Ray Fat Daddy.
He's probably the reason your knee blew out, but we're not going to talk about that.
Ray was one of our first guests, actually, right?
Yeah, we were just talking about that, how him and I got shit-faced in my living room.
That was a great show. I don't know how I got home.
That we used to do it for all three of us and Pete, all four of us together in my living room, setting it up. And me and Ray went through, I think, a whole bottle of scotch, bro.
That was actually the first time I did it. When we did Ray, I was actually remote. That was the first time I was remote.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ray and I were getting absolutely shit-faced.
I think there was 2 fingers of scotch left in that bottle. And I was almost talking Latin. I was more of a babbling idiot than I usually am.
He ain't lying.
Hey, Pete.
Yo.
Can I just, before we get silly here, just on a serious note, I'd like to say one thing.
Go for it.
Since we're in front of the fire service community here, if we could all tonight sometime, we got a minute or two or a free time, say a prayer for Rescue 2 firefighter Billy Moon and his family and the entire fire department of New York, especially Rescue 2. As we all know, he sustained some pretty serious injuries, and he, his family, and the entire fire department of New York could use our prayers tonight. So if you would, in your free time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes, we'll give a couple more shout outs at the end too. I got a couple. So Pete, give us the word of the day so we can all sit here and look at my son refilled my drink for me. He's something else.
This one's a little bit of a kind of contraction, a combo word here. And the word of the day, ladies and gentlemen, today is a jagaloon.
Get a jagaloon.
Couple of
you heard it, Gindaloon. Now it's jackalope.
It's kind of like that jackalope creature, the rabbit mixed with the That's
Louis didn't get one of them in this area.
That's the PC term, jagaloon.
So, did you guys actually work together? You two?
Mike and I? Oh yeah, he was my captains. Yeah, I was a captain in Engine 113 on the West Side. Mike was my battalion chief in the 13th Battalion.
Ah, so Pete, I think I had the picture of them too when they were working together.
Oh yeah, I do. Hold on a sec.
Which one is this?
You two guys working it. I don't know where I got it from, but
hold on a sec here.
Where's it at?
Oh my
Look at Ray. He already sees the beach ball being thrown up.
Yeah, it's a law ball. Here we go.
Hold on a second, boys.
Oh, hold on a minute. Pete fucking my presentation up.
Nah, something went wrong.
Oh, I know
what went wrong.
Yeah, no,
behind the wheel, Pete.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
Junkyard.
Here it is. You guys hard at work.
Oh my God.
You guys very
there
hard
you are.
Oh my God.
It's Chuck and Larry.
We changed our names. We changed our names.
When you got married, that is. Oh no, hold on. Now there you are. Here you are at work. There you go.
There you go. And look at me. I tell you what. You know what this was? So we were at fire department headquarters. We got called down there for some itty bitty titty committee meeting. Some bullshit reinvention of the wheel shit or something.
Yeah, put wheels on a miscarriage.
Like what's in water that puts out fire or something. And some political correctness bullshit we had to learn. And this is what we thought when we come out.
Don't hold back, Mitch.
I look like a U-boat captain in that hat. Hey, look, if I had served in the Navy, there'd be no doubt I'd be on submarine duty.
Well,
no
Kev also sent me a Proby picture.
And I could run a marathon in the sun.
You were in such shape in Proby school. Look what good shape he was in Proby school. Man.
Yeah, look at him. He was a beast. Unbelievable.
Oh, you dug that one out of the archive.
Unbelievable. And look at your whole Proby class. Your whole Proby class.
Come on.
Vicious.
Give him something original. Give him something original. He hasn't said.
Hey, listen, man.
Timothy likes it.
That's Mitch's Proby picture.
That does have the riding list in the squad. What is that?
Go home and get your fucking shine box.
Get your shine box.
All right, enough of this nonsense.
Hey, when did you guys first meet? How much time did you have on the job when you first met?
I'll tell you what. I mean, at the particular time I met Mike, I was a captain, and I'll tell you the first time I laid eyes on this guy, I'll give you the story. So this is a good one. I'm glad you brought it up. So this was like in 1997 or 98. Mike was a captain. I was a relief lieutenant. We get brought down to the academy because the fire department was putting into play a new program, the Advanced Life Support Paramedic Engine ordeal. Well, I'll tell you what.
That sounds like some circle jerk.
You should have seen the look on Timothy's face. Every time that they'd come out and say how this program was going to operate, Timothy was in the front row like this, just shaking.
You want to know that shirt you got on?
Yeah.
That's what they all were, a bunch of jag-offs.
Jagaloons.
So that was the first time I got a load of this guy to look on his face. He looked like one of the Bowery Boys or something like that, or like one of them Taylor Street Italian guys with the chip on his shoulder.
Oh boy,
yeah.
You remember that, Chief?
I do remember. I remember. I disliked the program immensely.
Yeah, he did. He was right in the front row. He was right on the far end.
What was that guy on Welcome Back, Kotter?
Yeah. You know, as you get older on the job, every program that comes out, there's no chance of you liking.
I'll tell you what, the very first day, we're coming back from the academy and they give us a run, give us an ALS run. The guy who was the medic on the engine that day gave me a Form 2 that night to forward up the chain of command. I quit. I ain't doing this. He was out of the program on day one.
So, nice. All right, who's got the first fire story? Ray, you want to go first? What do you got?
I had a few things. I don't know if a lot of guys had the experience. Anybody ever been trapped on the floor above and looking for a place to go out? I might have mentioned this story before. I talk all the time. You know, I remember there was a story in 108 of a bunch of guys had to go out a window, and the captain, who was a big guy, he was like 6'7", he said, all right, everybody out. And they jumped out the window, and he went out after them. And everybody, and the two guys that went out before him, they said they hit the ground and everything was pretty good. And then the captain came out, and they both ended up on medical leave for a year. So we go to a job at the New Law Tenements on the south side of Williamsburg. They lost water. They had transom windows. The place was never renovated. It was a New Law Tenement, 6-story building. The fire came out the transom windows. The engine lost water. We're on the floor above. The hallway lights up. So the captain, we're on the 6th floor, and we knew, don't even take to look for a fire escape. You know, the building had fire escapes. And he goes, this is the window we're going to jump out of. And this guy, he was a pretty big guy. And we both looked at him, like the senior guy, Joe Mari, and I looked at him and said, you're going first.
What floor was that?
We were on the 4th floor.
Oh my God.
You know, so, and it was saying, man, you're looking down and going,
fuck that.
Damn, this is gonna hurt. And you're thinking, you know, am I gonna ditch my mask? Because that was the other thing the guy said that when he was gonna jump, they ditched their mask, you know, so they lessened the impact.
Get rid of the weight.
Yeah, you know, but like this guy, he was definitely 280 pounds. We're like, I'm not wearing him forever. No, we ended up not going. They ended up getting water, and you know, I mean. But like looking back, we should have did so many more things, you know, like we should have breached, you know, okay, there wasn't a fire escape. We should have breached the wall, went through to the next apartment, got a fire escape, you know, everything, you know, like we really didn't do what we should have done in that instance. Like looking back, it was the 80s. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking about. We, you know, definitely HUA hit up ass, you know, but, you know, I don't think a lot of people actually end up in that position. It was way before the bailout kits and everything like that. Like looking back, we sort of said, well, you know, we'll breach a couple walls, get to a different place, and everything will be, you know, we'll look for a fire escape. That's it, you know. And we were on, it was a main street, you know, and there was no aerials on that side of the building. So, you know, 4 stories is just not going to be good.
Jeez, 4 stories.
Yeah.
Can you even survive 4 stories?
You could die going out 1 story, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, Tommy Williams died out 1 story.
Yeah.
And fell out a 2nd story window when he died.
Jeez, man.
You know, so
and then those guys in Black Sunday jumped 6, you know.
Yeah, they were far. They were 4 stories, 5 stories.
Jeff.
It was and the back was
7
down. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There was a setback, and the stairs went down underneath, so it was actually it was probably 6 stories that they went. You know, but it was a miracle.
Mr. Cool put up an amazing post in the fans page for anyone who's interested.
Oh, I saw
that. It was really heartfelt, so I recommend everyone go and read that post, because it was like someone had asked him who he was, and it was just really, it's really heartfelt. Definitely read that if you guys are on the fans page. If not, get on there and read it. It's unbelievable.
I once had to bail out and had a 240-pound lieutenant roll over my back, bro.
I was running for my life, and I hit you 2 guys like bowling pins.
He ain't lying, bro. He ain't lying. What was that? Was that just a flashover or what?
Well, no, it was like a combination of things. It was the road taxpayers. They probably call them strip malls in Chicago. I don't know what the fuck you jagaloons call them out there.
Hey, easy.
I resemble that.
Chief Timothy's not happy
about us.
I resemble that.
I resemble that remark.
But it was a big corner building, you know, the taxpayer, which New York City, I think that's, you know, 1 story. You know, I think like taxpayers were called taxpayers because it was a vacant piece of land, and the owner didn't want to pay taxes on it anymore. Put up a cheap building, hence taxpayer. So the whole mall, it's a big building. The thing's going pretty good. We actually go into like a beauty shop.
Yeah, it was a barber shop.
And Yeah, and I go in the back, and I got the thermal imaging camera, and I got it up. You know, I'm on a wall, and I see like this white line come down like this, and I just said, "Oh, not good." So I just turned and I started running. As I'm running, fire is around me. Oh, feet don't fail me now. and they were right at the door, and I just dove. Right, and I I imagine myself like leaping over them like an athlete, but back then he was,
athlete
like Bruce Jenner.
Oh, yeah, like a fucking bowling ball, like a boulder rolling downhill. It was like you and Timmy Garrity.
Yep.
Timmy Garrity. So now we're laying in the street. The fire rolls out. The building collapses. What actually pushed the fire?
The roof, I think.
So it wasn't like a flashover or anything like that. The building fell down and it just all the fire went, toward the door. And so now we're laying in the street, and Timmy's brother was the rescue battalion, and he was like, to God rest his soul, he's like standing there looking at us and laughing. I'm all laying in the street.
Oh, that's nice.
All bruised up.
Gentlemen.
Let's hear a Chicago fire story from one of you jackoffs.
Well, were you guys going to add to that, like getting caught up above?
Yeah, if you had
I got caught up above. Me and another guy got caught up above Florida fire, and actually it was another building. There was a couple of buildings going. There were a couple of 3 flats going, and we were in the building.
3 flights? What's that?
It's 3 floors of tenement of living. We just call them a 3 flat. So it's 3 stories high with a basement. Fire was on the 2nd floor, second and 3rd floor of the main building. We were in one of the exposure buildings. We were up on the 3rd floor checking for extension. And this was before PARS and RIT and all this other stuff, And they opened a tower ladder on us in the building.
Ooh.
And we got pinned down. So my partner goes to me, "Hey, throw your helmet out of the window." I go, "Fuck you! You throw your helmet out of the window." And the fucking thing has got us pinned. I'm under a sink, and it's just tearing the fucking apartment up. And he goes, God. I ain't throwing my helmet out either. I go, "Well, we're gonna be here for a while." So finally, I took my tank off and threw it out of the window. Then they know we were in there, So it was like, "Yo, okay, time out."
That's no bueno.
Yeah,
pushing fire, Ray. Right? They were saying you can't push fire. We were talking about that,
bullshit.
Right?
Yeah. You can push fire real easy. These guys, like wind-driven fires. You can't push fire. Yeah.
Go ahead, Chief Croker.
Well, I mean, just right off the top of my head, just a fire we had involving one of our companies, just something different. It's still what's a report of a fire still arm, the 6600 block of Yale. And that's about 3/4 of a mile outside of the firehouse or so. And I could see this thing lit up. I mean, the sky was lit up. It looked like a plane crashed. So we're coming down the street, and I come down Wentworth Avenue and turn hard onto Ross Street, and I could see it. I could feel the heat a block away already. One of my first engine companies pulls up. He boxes the fire. He doesn't know I'm behind him. So if he had known that I was behind him, he wouldn't have done it. But so he boxes the fire. I was going to do it anyways, but he beat me to the punch. So I get on the radio on Fireground. He says, "Just deck gun the shit out of it." I can't even tell what's burning. There's so much damn fire. You couldn't even see the silhouette of a building. You could see all the plastic and all the siding already melting off the buildings across the street from the transfer of heat.
Holy shit.
So these guys pull up. He says, "We can't even get out of the rig." They move. He says, we're just gonna move up and lead out and make a hydrant and go from there with it. So my second engine pulled up. I says, "You think you can do it?" He says, "Yep." I threw my best man up on that deck gun, Johnny Legelia. And Johnny's as tough as nails. He deck gunned that building. The thing fell over. The building literally pancaked down on itself, and it was nothing more than a rubbish fire. At the end of it, all 3 floors come down on top of each other. He put the damn thing out, and I'm going, "What now? We got a box on this thing." I look like a fool. I didn't pull the box, but it was just there was so much fire you couldn't even tell what it was. He decked on the building. The thing collapsed on itself.
It burned itself out.
There was nothing.
We didn't do some good there.
Yeah, good stuff, both.
I had one of them too. A big 2.5-story frame coming down the street at midnight. The whole sky was orange. I go, holy fuck! Half the block's got to be.
We're not going to be doing so good here.
Fucking turn the corner. This thing is going stem to stern. Set up lines in each sector. You know,
Stem to stern. I haven't heard that forever. That's fucking great.
All of a sudden, fucking pancake down. Boom! It was out.
It's gone.
There's outdoor rubbish fire now.
Oh,
there was so much.
Even the guy in the squad goes. He goes. He's driving. He's telling me later. He goes, "This guy ain't boxing this." And it's all lit up. All of a sudden, he turned the corner. It was down. He goes, "It's out." I go, "Hold the squad."
What is boxing?
Before you translate that real quick, I just wanted to interject. Thank you to the freaking burnbox.com. Shout out to you, the burnbox.com. And if you guys want to sign up for a monthly subscription for your mystery box, check them out. They're awesome. Awesome, man. Really
FDNY,
appreciate that.
103.
Appreciate you, brother.
103.
You're talking about Chief. You got caught. They were towel out in the room, and you were in it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a guy at a junkyard fire get hit by a towel ladder.
Oh.
The stream hit him, drove him into the ground like a freaking nail. Right? He got up like mad, like he was going to go beat the towel ladder operator up. We
were pinned up there. I'm going to tell you.
And then he got hit again by the stream.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And it put him out of the job. Greg Picone.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know.
There was a video going around. You remember that video was going around where the guy was like walking in on like the grass area, and they must have turned on the towel at it to start, and it hit him, like knocks him over, like full out blasted him. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine getting hit with that thing.
It cut you.
So a couple quick questions from the chat. One is a really good one that I thought, and it was from Chris, our buddy Chris Burke. He's asking, and this is a funny question, but it's not really that funny. Did Backdraft increase recruitment for the Chicago Fire Department the way Top Gun did for the Navy and the Marines? No. Do you guys notice any increase after that movie came out? Like more interest in the fire department?
Yeah, the guys on the job got interested.
For the first time, I bet.
I mean, what was that, Mike? About 89 that movie came out?
I don't even know.
Probably had it because I remember going to that and I was on the list. So I got on in 93, so it had to be probably like that 90.
I read somewhere that all those guys are retired by now. It's been so long ago.
There wasn't an exam for 5 or 6 or 7
91,
years.
boys. May of 91. May of 91.
I told you they had a big funeral scene at the end, and they used all off-duty firemen, Chicago firemen. So it was a Sunday morning. We were supposed to go be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were out the night before. We were, in the bar partying. Set our alarm at 6 o'clock.
What a surprise.
I wake up at 6 o'clock. It's raining out, and I'm hungover.
Fuck that.
Fuck that draft. I went back to bed.
Come on, man. Come on.
All right. So another question came from John Paul DeJoria, which is, he said, any of these Jagovs work the Quano press building fire in 99? The building was the chemical warehouse fire in Backdraft.
I didn't, but I did notice. I didn't go there, but somebody had made mention of a fatal accident in 2000 or 2007. I think he was clarifying it. I was at that line of duty death accident in 2000. I forget who put that up, but
which one was that, Mitch?
What's it?
Who was that?
Which one was that?
That was L.C. Merrill.
Oh, Merrill. Okay.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
It was a L.C. Merrill was he had a great reputation as a fantastic guy, great officer, well liked for everybody. He was responding to a still, and he ended up flying out of the cab.
Oh boy!
Door popped open, and he flew out of the cab at 100 Troop Street on the far south side. He was killed at that incident. And
yeah, they got clipped.
Yeah, yeah. And I later on went to the scene. They're looking for an engine for foam to wash the diesel down, and I went to the scene a couple hours later. So I did end up at that incident.
Do you know how many times that's happened? Now that you say that the door flies open, like when you're making a turn, right? You're getting your stuff together, right? You're going to a job or something, whatever it is, and the door flies open, right? The flashlight goes flying out, or something happens, but you just we never wore seatbelts. But now that you say that happened a lot, actually.
You put 100,000 miles plus on one of these things on city streets, and nothing's gonna lock tight, right?
I remember the first rig I got assigned to engine 292 in Queens. I was a volley for 5 years. I know everything. I get on the rig, and I'm looking at the floorboards as the truck is as the engine's driving, and I'm seeing the street go by underneath.
Not it out.
You know, from all the rot.
Not it out.
Hey, I still drive a car like that.
Oh, you squeeze the nickel so tight, you need the Buffalo, man. Shoot the lock off.
I remember that.
That was my work car. Still sitting outside.
Wow.
What about you, Ruffy? You ever have to bail out?
I was just thinking the whole time you guys were talking about that. I was really in, for lack of a better term, I was fucking anal about that, man. And I taught that when I remember talking about that a lot when I became lieutenant in 103, obviously in 288 as a boss, that it just made for a better search for me. That if I was on the floor above, the two things I did, I told somebody I was going up, like whoever was at the stair, if the line was going in, I grabbed somebody on the line, we're going above. And two, as soon as I got up there, I took glass and I looked to see what I had. If there was some guy in the back with a ladder, put that over here, bro. And then from this point, I can make a much better search, more aggressive search than if I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not just running up there and then on the floor above and just searching around.
You got to have a way out.
Got a way out. So even if I got to that window and I saw next door had the fire escape, then I knew I was working that way, and then I was going to get to that window. But I really have to say that was something that I really taught a lot, and it was a really important thing. And I used to say to the guys, I don't give a shit. You're going this way. You pass. This is your window. This is where my ladder is. This is where my fire escape is. You pass it. You bump into your guy coming the other way. The room lights up, and he says, come this way. You say, bro, I'll see you on the outside, because who can you trust? You could trust you 100%, right? I'm going back to where I know the window was that I know. I'll meet you outside. Unless you didn't know where you are, then you got to trust, you got to trust that guy.
Hopefully whoever's throwing that ladder is telling you where it's at while they're entering the building.
Well, hopefully you're up there on the floor above while the OB or whoever's in the back throwing up the ladder, and you're like, hey, bro, right here. So he knows that somebody's there. It's important for him to get a ladder there. And then you take the glass, and then from that point, you could search instead of this. You could do a little bit better search and, close the door. You got a quick room, look out. You got the fire escape, scooch to the next room.
Pete, tell us you're jumping out a window to save your life from a jealous husband story, Pete.
Well, what happened? You were peppering him up before they came on.
Oh, yeah. Now all of a sudden he's a little fucking clam.
If I had the button, I'd do the crickets now.
Ladders are a pretty nice commodity on a building. And once they go up, that window pretty much should own that ladder, because
absolutely, man.
You're worth the salt in your spit. You know where those ladders are while you're going in, and the last thing you want to do is move one.
That's a lifeline to the guy that went up it, man.
There.
Floor above can go bad very, very fast.
And I used to like to have the rapid intervention team have their ladder standing by, specifically one, in the event that they got to pluck somebody out the window, just as an added tool in the toolbox that it should be sitting inside with that rapid intervention team. In the event that somebody needs to get out, they got a ladder that's unused, and they could put it up and get them out of there. So
Kevin, we had a discussion. A bunch of salty old fucks went out to lunch yesterday, and we had a discussion about guys using the wrong ladder and getting jammed up. Like everybody in the fire department, the guy said the favorite ladder in the FDNY is a 20-foot straight ladder because it's so light. But the best ladder is probably the 35-foot ladder because it can reach almost every window and have enough to, put the tip right at the windowsill as it should be the proper, How many times you see somebody get jammed up because they grab the wrong ladder?
You can always retract them, but you can't add on
to it.
But they grab that 20-foot straight because it's light.
Ray, how many times did you pull up and see a ladder that was 2 foot short of the fucking window, and it just stood there? You know what I mean? Because they realized and ran back and got the 24 or whatever.
Or it's too long and it's on an angle like this.
It's like this going into the building. Right?
I was quoted years ago, but rather an old timer chief says, "Look, if you're going to raise a ladder with purpose. Don't put it up for show. Make it work." So, and that kind of resonated with me. And, I've seen a lot of situations over the years where ladders have saved guys' lives or significant injury. And, we've gotten better with ladders, but
who did we just have on from Boston? We had pictures from Boston. Every time you see a Boston job, I have to say those guys.
They're a photographer.
Oh, Noonan. Some of the pictures he had. What are they? The 3 deckers they call them. They had one. Noonan. They must have had 15 ladders on that building. Like I've never seen anything like every window and proper too, not half-assed.
Depending upon what type of structure you're dealing with, and Mike can attest to this, and I used it as one of my points in the first podcast, but the middle of the night courtyard fires in the city of Chicago, you can't get enough ladders, and you better get out ahead of that fire, because usually those courtyard fires, especially in the middle of the night, they're incendiary fires. Somebody's got something on somebody. They gas front or rear or interior stairwells.
Those gas stairwells, man, they make for great fires. It's raining babies.
Oh, do they ever? But you can't get in and you can't get out. And they're gonna be in the windows, and you got to get ahead of those fires. You absolutely have to get the help there.
Louis, I had one of those in 117. My first detail to a truck was a lot of 117, and somebody gassed the stairwell, and it was assholes and elbows for a 4-story.
The only way out is ladder.
4-story tenement. It was everybody was going.
Yeah, you can't even get into the joint.
Yeah, right.
The engine hits fire at the front door, and and they got 4 floors of fire to put out. I mean, it's a hell show. It's a mess.
Shit show. Be the man is the OV right there, man.
OV, that's another job that you don't know until you fuck it up. I mean, I don't. New York City has the luxury of having an outside vent person. I don't know if Chicago has somebody that's assigned to go directly opposite where the nozzle is going to go to vent.
We have guys go to we always open up the back or the rear of the building. So we're always sending a truck company, somebody from a truck company to the rear of that building to get it open. So
that's the same thing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So, but the outside vent, for the New York City Fire Department, the perfect position for the outside vent is opposite where the nozzle is going to be operating. And back in the day, I had bosses tell me, I don't want you to wear a mask if you have the outside vent. If you wear a mask, use a cheetah, because I don't want you going in far, because they wanted you to scramble back to the fire escape real fast. Right. But
you're not going to be able to get in that far, because that stream is going to be hitting you eventually.
Yeah, it's going to be hitting you right in the mush.
You had to get into that room, close the door. Right. That was the key, was to get in, take the glass. Now they really time it. The guys really time it now.
They can't vent unless they get permission.
Until they have permission, until the line is operating. I don't know how that's working so much, but I think it is working pretty good with that. Yeah, guys were taking the glass right away, and they didn't want to
change things. I was like, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
But, perfect scenario, you could do that. Open a nozzle while I'm venting, but most of the time it don't work.
Timing, right? Unless the only way you could take glass now is if it's imminent, you're making a rescue, right? Then you can do that, but you have to notify, what's going on. But years ago, you were the OV. You just that's what you were doing. You were taking the glass, right? But then they were saying that it was intensifying the fire.
I mean, back in the day, there was the truck only had 3 radios. The 4 radios. The roof, the outside vent, the chauffeur, and the boss.
That's it.
The interior team didn't have radios.
Yeah.
You know, because you had the boss. So and that was before 2 in, 2 out, all the other
bullshit,
5-knuckle shuffle bullshit.
It wasn't long ago in Chicago where only the officer had a portable radio and a roof guy.
The roof man had it.
Yeah,
the roof man has to have it. Yeah.
But nobody else had one. So everybody's got one now.
I'll tell you what, it was nice though. There was no bullshit radio transmissions.
Yeah,
that is true. It was less communication, but
because when they gave everybody a radio, everybody wanted to talk on the radio.
Until you're the can man and you're burning, and you're like, hey, "Get me the hell out of here!" You know,
some guys just talk on the radio. Shut the fuck up.
That is true.
But back in the day, they used to say you were a good outside vent person until you fucked up a bunch of times and went to the wrong place or didn't do the job right. And like back in the firehouse kitchen, they went up one side and down the other, telling you what you should have done right, you know, instead of what you know.
Right, when you were in 108,
wrong.
Did the senior men always have the OV? Do you remember?
Stole my question.
Usually, especially when it was a tiller, the tillerman was the outside vent. So it was usually a senior guy, like second
just because he was driving,
chauffeur, you know. But later on, once we got a rear mount, during the day tour, they would give a junior guy.
Yeah.
They would give a junior guy the roof, or they would give the guy the outside vent. Or back in the day when there was only battalion-wide detailing, we rode with 7 guys a lot, so there was always a second roof
man. Yeah, right.
Roof man. So and. You were told to go a different way than the original roof guy. Even if you put the aerial up, they said go a different way, just to learn a different way. Yeah. And as to the outside vent, you know, how many times you went the wrong way or couldn't get in, or you just didn't end up getting the job, and you just like, I fucked that one up, and you were just praying for somebody for another job.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, you always had the remorsefuls.
Yeah, but listen, everybody's not 100% on point all the time. You make a mistake, you learn. You never do that again. You know, no harm, no foul, and you're not gonna repeat that.
The difference was, Chief, back then when you guys were you got to redeem yourself very quick.
Yeah.
Now maybe the guys don't get the chance to redeem themselves so fast. You know, it lingers on for fucking ever, probably.
You know what? I never faulted a guy for making a mistake as long as he was aggressive.
Did something. Yeah, do something.
As long as he was aggressive, we'll work around it. You know?
I agree 100%.
But don't make the same mistake twice.
What if they're standing in a pool of gasoline? You know, and then the whole hero thing kicks in. Be honest, you could tell us all about it.
Hey, we had an officer on the west side. You're talking about the outside vent guy, and mask and no mask, and searching and what have you not. And I literally, back in the day, I watched a guy who first got to the west side. He almost choked one of his guys to the death for wearing a mask, and he screamed at him and says, "Get that fucking mask off! You're embarrassing the company."
No shit.
Well, I had bosses that
26, Mike. Can you guess who that was?
Big Larry.
I had bosses that wouldn't take the mask.
Scala.
And they'd be searching window to window.
You know what?
Hanging out.
That was back in the day when I was a fireman, first came on. The guy said, "You don't touch that mask until I tell you." Well, guess what? They hardly ever told you to grab the mask. And I'd be in there with a couple of years on my chest on the pipe, and this guy standing up with his coat open, smoking a Lucky Strike, going, "Get the fuck in here!"
Yes,
I kid you not.
Lucky Strike.
I go, this guy is fucking. He's not human. He's not fucking human.
I said these motherfuckers have asbestos lungs.
Unbelievable! I fucking threw up twice. He goes, "Let's go." I'm fucking dragging the line in, and I'm still down. He's still standing up.
You know, but now let's just be real, right? Now we're into 2022. Yeah, and there's all that shit about the softer, you know, fire department, which I understand that's a cultural thing more than anything. But with the cancer, with all the chemicals, you're now going into wood frame buildings, you know, everything's like all kinds of different kind of construction now. right? Wouldn't you say put on your fucking mask instead?
Well, different worlds.
Of course, nobody's saying
different worlds. Yeah.
100%
saying that.
Listen, if these old timers back then had the equipment that we had now,
forget it. Forget it.
Are you crazy? You're talking to some of the toughest firemen that ever worked this job.
You know what, Chief? That is true. I haven't heard anybody say that, Chief. You know what? Those guys were doing when not they like Ray said they had
blue jeans.
Yeah, they had blue jeans. They had floorboards that they could see the street. They had nothing.
Our mandatory SCBA order came in somewhere around the mid '80s, and it took 2 or 3 years after that just to get guys to put them on their back, and they still didn't use them. Right. But and I came on, during that era before that mandatory order, and then not wearing one and I'm taking a fucking pounding and you're wearing this thing on your back now to keep the peace, but you're
not even using it.
You're still not.
That was that was the '80s. How far the snot went down with the first buckle, the second buckle. Oh, I had a 3-buckle snot. You know
what was crazy too is you had to manually turn on. For you guys it was different. I had to manually turn on the pass alarm, right? So there was no pass. Yeah, right.
Pass alarms back in the day.
Right.
What's that?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, the little yellow thing.
Yeah, the little yellow thing
you hung on the belt.
I'm going to tell you this. There was this one old timer. He wore the suit he got married in. I swear to God, this fucking guy, he never wore fire department shit. I go, Jimmy, where'd you get them shoes? He goes, I got married in these shoes. I kid you not. He'd be on the back step in a coat that looked like a sport jacket. This is the gear. This is the gear that they had. Jesus. It was shit.
When did you guys get bumpy?
You had to buy your own shit, and once the chief condemned it, you go get some retired guy thing. Yeah. You were going on vacation and you would bring your coat or helmet or whatever got condemned. There was a business in Richmond Hill called Sampson, Zatt and Sons. Yeah. And these guys, they were a taxpayer. There's that word again. And they would fix your shoe. They knew the chart. Oh, when you go back to vacation. All right, come in 2 days before your vacation ends. It'll be ready. And they would fix it. They put extra leather on your helmet. They would vulcanize your boots. They would sew your coat so much that it looked like a quilt. So many patches and shit.
I'm telling you, I've never seen tougher guys. And I used to go home and tell my brother, I go, these fucking guys are out of their minds. I'm telling him, he goes, what? He goes, that didn't happen. I go, these guys are fucking, they're killers. They're fucking nuts. I'm loving it. And he goes, and they're paying you for this? I go, could you believe it? They're fucking paying me.
Yeah, there were guys, like I said, these guys have no nerve endings. They don't feel pain. Fuck. These guys go places.
Petey, you know what? Just say something quick because what you were saying.
Yeah.
You have to use your mask, right? But there also has to be, you also have to take a little bit of smoke. Like guys used to say, you got to take a little bit of smoke because what happens if, same thing with the camera. If the camera goes out, right? You still have to have your search skills, right? Yeah. So if the fucking mask goes out, if something happens to your mask, you got to be able to know the techniques to stay low or to breathe a little smoke to get to a window because you might not make it if you panic.
One of the big problems with bunker gear is nobody stayed low anymore. Yeah. Like nobody crawled.
You can see that after a job. You see the guy's hand marks on the, all the way up here.
Chest high, Yeah. So if the blinds come down, he said when it was going bad, the blinds would come down, right? The smoke layer would come down, right? And now you're standing up. You haven't oriented yourself for the search, right? You haven't landmarked. You haven't done a right hand or left hand thing.
Right.
You've been walking along like a big dude.
Because you don't have to worry about it. Right?
Like a real.
Until you have to worry about it.
No, but I was just going to say that had to have affected searches because if you're doing a crawl, you're doing the search with the tool, right? Like you're poking around and all that sort of stuff, right, Ray?
You're using the tool to extend your search. You're using your landmarking. You're keeping your one side on the wall. You count your turns.
Whatever.
Right.
You're paying attention to where you are in the room. I think now that these guys are walking, and I'm out a while now, but I remember going to like a commercial building in Flushing, which is like the worst place in the world to go to a commercial building fire.
Oh God!
Because
it's always an eighth alarm too.
Yeah, and there's no building codes. New York City doesn't exist there. You know, it's a free for all. You know, and you see these guys walking around. Go when the shit goes on, how the fuck do you know where you are if you're walking around like I do to do? You know,
right. But just not to interrupt quick, because Patty Lee just said he was my old lieutenant. You learn to breathe through the floorboards, right? How many of those guys really know that if their mask went bad, that if they got down on their belly, like how low you can get to a couple of inches, that you could stay there, or you could take, somebody mentioned something in the chat, you could breathe off the nozzle or whatever it is. You could do
two chiefs. So you guys got on the job.
A few breaths in there, right?
Before there was like the mandatory mask rule. I remember crawling in, your nose would be on the floor, right? And you'd actually want to look. And that was the best thing about the cheetah.
There was always air on the ground.
Yeah, you could actually see right across.
There's always a little bit of a gap that you could see. And the truth of the matter is everything that we're talking about it's like a bunch of prima donna-ism today in the fire service. All of this job should be learned with the basics. You got to take some smoke, not use a mask. You got to stay away from all the power tools. Learn to swing an axe. Learn to force entry the old-fashioned way. Learn to search and rescue without the cameras. Everything by feel. Everything by layout of the room. Everything by your natural instincts. Because when the power tools fail, you're going to be using the axe. When the camera battery or the camera takes a shit, you're going to be in that building, and you better know where you're at.
And you better know where the air is when your mask runs out.
And when your mask, when something goes bad with that, you better be able to take a little bit of a dose as well. So, I mean, you should really be learning the job first that way.
Right. Be safe, but expect to take smoke.
Well,
You're a fucking firefighter.
I remember going through the academy was like a bunt when I went through. It was only 6 weeks. You know, but they in Astoria there was the Steinway Piano Factory.
Oh yeah,
and they used to have a bunch of scrap woods, and that's what they would use for the burn buildings for the Proby school.
Yeah,
they would just load. Remember that taxpayer building with the iron deck, with the marine deck around the second floor. Mm-hmm. They would have us on that, and they would have us like pretending to go down like to a basement fire, and we wouldn't have masks, you know. And I remember this guy took me down the stairs, and you had the nozzle, and he took you like right into the room and wouldn't let you open up. And I remember I got burned on my face in Proby school, and okay, good job, good job. We'll go aside, and the captain goes, "What happened? Why's your fucking face burned?" And I'm like, I
was in a fire.
You know,
this is Disney World here, bro.
But he like lit up the instructor, you know, some salty 30-year guy that worked in the Bronx for 30 years. Come on, kid. And he lit him up. Yeah, you can't burn these guys in Proby school. You know, it's like going sick. I'm not going sick. You know, it started back then. You know, but like, can you imagine doing that now?
I was just going to say,
somebody.
They have a lawsuit on you.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. The Rock would be named after that poor mope that got his face burned. You know.
Yeah. It's amazing how things have changed.
Because the kids today coming on, some of them never wanted to be firemen. They just want a job.
They like the shot.
True.
They can't get a job in their field. So, wait a minute. I'm going to work one day and have 2 days off. Oh, fuck. I'll go there. Then you tell them to go in that burning building, and they go, "You want me to go in there?" Yeah, I want you to go in there.
I have to
listen, something off the topic. I just read something about the new Chicago Fire Department test. You guys know anything about that?
Yeah, well, where do you want me to start?
I knew that was going to turn up, Chief Croker.
Right? Why would you throw that beach ball up there? Why would you throw that beach?
It's shameful.
I'm certain Mike is going to have his own vision that's gonna run parallel to mine, but it's beyond shameful. It is an absolute disgrace what the city of Chicago is doing, what the city of Chicago personnel department is doing, the entire testing process of the Chicago Fire Department in recent years. And now they are limiting. I don't know how many applicants. I think there may have been as many as 20,000 that signed up for the exam. They're only allowing a little bit less than 5,000 to actually take it. And it's done by a lottery system. So wait, let me just make a disclaimer here. We get good kids on this job still.
I agree. I was going to say that before.
We do get them, but the problem with the way things are done is that we leave more behind. That we leave far too many good ones behind than we get. Because back when I took the exam, back when Mike took the exam, I mean, it was kind of a moron written exam. It was a physical exam.
What year did you guys get on the job?
Say that again.
What year did you get on the job?
I got on in February of '83. Mike got on in February of '80. So I had 2 months less than 39 years.
Carbon date, you two motherfuckers.
But let me just reiterate about
that. Hey, and Mitch is only 49.
That's right. This testing shit.
You're 49 inches tall?
Have at it, man. Have at it. Listen, if I so with this testing process back in the day, you would compete 1-for-1 on the physical agility test. You had a numerical ranking, however you landed on that exam.
That's how we all got on. How I got on. How you two jagaloons got on.
Now? I don't even know what it
is. The exam now is a lottery system.
The whole lottery system.
A lottery system. And a CPAT card for your physical. Now, the reality of a CPAT is you can get a guy who did the fastest CPAT on record and never see the job because he didn't hit the lottery number.
Mm-hmm.
It's a disgrace.
So what's the sense of even giving a test? So it's going to be a lottery.
Is that just for minority? What are they doing?
They're trying to diversify is what they're trying to do.
They're doing whatever they can to control the exam, to control the number of applicants,
right?
To get what they want.
The makeup of the
The bottom line to this is, at least for starters, everybody who applies to take the exam, whatever that constitutes, the Chicago Fire Department should be allowed to do so. The idea that you get knocked out in a lottery is ludicrous. It's
a competitive civil service. It really is.
Absolutely. So
I told you before, when I was a fireman, not to blow our own horn, but when you on every rig there was 5 tigers. I mean, one guy, it's like your 1, 2, 3, and 4 batters. You know, we didn't have no 7, 8, and 9 batters. But today, when you look around and you go around other parts of the city, it's like, holy fuck, I hope I don't get a fire today.
Because I got to depend on this guy. It's not so good.
Well, you know what it is? I think that's the way of the world now is that you hope that those 2 or 3 good guys are going to show up in the alarm assignment that are going to take the line to the seat of fire and put it out.
I always had the old saying, you could be the best chief and have shit officers and shit firemen, you're going to look like shit.
You're going to
be the best officer. If you got 3 shit firemen, you're going to look like shit. But if you got 3 good firemen, you could be the worst officer and the worst chief, and that fire's going out.
That was the beauty of soccer, is that you were working with so many motivated guys.
It's all about the horses.
It was easy. It was like, you know.
When you're dealing with a bunch of good people in a good battalion that gets some work, the reality is you can take your tactics as a chief officer and really stick your neck out, and you know it's going to get done.
It's a beautiful thing.
If it comes up short, you know that they dared doing so, because it was a winner every time. If they came up short, you know that you made the right decision. They gave it 100%. We just didn't succeed in it. The good officers and firemen make the worst chiefs look the best.
Yeah.
No,
I had the luxury of having to pull my guys out instead of pushing them in.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
God bless America, man. That is
how many times has that had to be done? You know, you fight with these guys. Get them out.
Yeah.
You evacuate a building. It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
It was the hardest thing to do, was to keep them from going places that they shouldn't be.
Chief, let me ask you this.
Adult supervision, man.
What is the makeup of the Chicago Fire Department as far as white and black? What's it? What is it? I mean, FDNY was 90%. Now I don't know what it is now, but
I mean, that for us, but it's down. I think, what were the makeup of the last test that they just took?
You know, the last few tests have been pretty even, actually. I think
I'm on. You know, this is recorded. It's on video. It's record. I do not want to misquote the numbers of the Chicago Fire Department, but I am willing to bet that a few percentage points on either side, that the Chicago Fire Department is maybe 33% minority. All
right. So that's my point. So why risk? That's what I'm saying. So even in the FDNY, listen, I had great minorities, right? I mean, when I got on the job, it was 95% white. I get it. You know, for whatever reason.
It doesn't reflect the racial makeup of the city. And
no,
listen,
right, I got that, Ray. But I'm just saying the point is that now they're in the last few years, since I was even in squad, you know, there were more minorities getting on the job, right? More women getting on the job. And they would, for the most part, they were passing the same test to do the job. Besides the one
test was
right. Besides the one thing, you know, that one thing where they stuck everybody on there and they gave everybody that time. But recently, guys have been getting on the job and nobody gives a shit. So I'm saying, if you're 35%, 33%, 30%, you're already working towards that with guys that are probably doing a very good job, right?
So
the guys that want the job. Why go past that to a lottery where guys aren't going to be able to do the job? That's what is always.
Let me ask you a question.
I got some numbers on the FDNY.
I'm just asking one question. How do you know that the lottery's even on the up and up? Maybe they're pulling whoever the hell they want.
Yeah, right.
Nothing's on the up and up here.
Anything tied to the
Let me just ask you one more question. The union's not pushing back against that at all? They're not.
Well, here's the deal. I'll make it perfectly clear. The Chicago Fire Department does not hire anybody. The City of Chicago Personnel Department are the ones who test, give the exams, create the exams, grade the exams, hire the people. It goes through human relations, and then at some point, when they're going to have an academy class, they drop 200 names to the academy and says, "Here you go." So the fire department doesn't hire anybody. It's the personnel department. As far as the union goes, the City of Chicago has the right contractually, at least to promotional exams, but the City of Chicago has the rights to develop that exam, test what they want, etc.
And promote how they want.
I mean, Local 2, who is our local, has nothing to do with the hiring process. Nothing at all.
So
can they complain about it? Pete, I'm sorry.
No worries. I just want to clarify the numbers very quickly. A couple things. One, I'm looking at, in terms of the FDNY, the racial breakdown. Exactly, it's 54% white, 7% black, 1.6% Asian, 13 and some change Hispanic, and 23 and some change other. All right, and out of that, 98.4% male over female. Right now, two, I'm looking at numbers. So there's apparently in the Chicago numbers, there was a clause in a collective bargaining agreement that says that in the 80s, they required the department to strive for close to 45% minority representation. But apparently they're still struggling, like with 277 black employees out of the 4,000 and change, right now, or something to that effect. I don't know. Most common rank firefighter EMT had 277 black employees. So I just want to say one thing.
Most of them are in the exempt rank.
You know, just the one thing. There was a big hullabaloo about Argentina recently in the World Cup, and why don't they have more representation? And someone replied,
this World Cup?
Someone replied to that. It's the game that the entire world plays, Ray. Don't worry about it.
It's a great game. It's a great game for our.
So let's not get off.
Sons.
Let's not get off. So what was I going to say? So this one person responded and said, because our fucking country is not a Disney movie. The country's less than 1% black, right? So it seems to me that people who have interest in the job are people who have interest in the job. And the idea that you could reach out to any community you want, but it's going to, you know, it's like the percentage of Navy SEALs. It never changes. It's always this many people are going to fail every single class, no matter what.
Well, I think I opened a can of worms with that one. And I think we should segue. I think we should segue right to how many times you did CPR on a fire victim in the hallway.
Oh, I got a good one for that one.
And I'm talking, and I'm not talking like, you know, with an ambu bag or something like that, down and dirty, not even mouth to mouth, because
have you ever done mouth to mouth? I'm out.
Have you ever done mouth to mouth on anybody?
Well, your old lady.
No. God bless America.
I had to give it the hit for that one.
So I'll give you a quick story real quick. So we had a job in Starrett, which is, I don't even remember what they were, 16-story buildings, whatever the heck they were. I don't even remember, 12 stories.
They're big buildings. I think they're higher than that.
I don't even remember what they were. So we get there, we start forcing the door off. We could tell there's a job there. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We force the door, get the door open a little bit. There's like a chair behind it. I think I've said the story before. Get the door open. I'm the first guy. The guys were forcing the door. I'm the officer, 103. I put my mask on. I'm the first guy.
One of the guys that sneaks right in, right?
I sneak right in. I love that shit. Right? These guys are putting that. I get in there. I feel the rug. I go left. Right. I tell the guy I'm going left. He goes right. He's there 2 minutes. I think it was Mundinger. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. I got a 10:45. I'm like, shit, you know. But I'm like, all right, great. So I go over there, and there's this big dude, big, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, whatever the hell he is, right? So I could see him through, you know, with the flashlight and everything. I'm like, you got the guy? I'm like, I got the guy. I got the guy. Like, you got the leg. I got the leg. So we start pulling, and we're pulling, and the guy's not going anywhere.
It's a mannequin.
It's not moving anyway. It's like he's nailed to the floor. So I look over with the flashlight, and I see Munding is like a middle linebacker. He's like 250, right? He'll squash you like a grape. He's like this. He's like yanking on the guy, and the guy's not going anywhere, right? So I'm like, something's wrong. I crawl up the guy. He's in the kitchen, this guy. There's this like island or peninsula that comes off the counter, and there's a brass pole.
His nuts are in it.
The guy's got like a wishbone. He's got one leg on one side, one on the other, and we are striking this guy like full bore. The two
he
of
made
us.
it again.
Right. So I finally have to like get this guy's attention. I'm like, Kevin, the guy's like stuck on the thing. So we got to push him up. I push him up, flip the leg over. Right. I'm breathing like a maniac in the mask. The guy's got the water on the fire. I don't even know where the fire is. Right. I get the leg. I'm like, you ready? Right. We grabbed the guy, and in like, I don't even know. Mundinger was so pumped up. Like I say, next thing I know, I'm in the middle of the hallway, and I got my mask on, and I'm like, you know, like breathing over this guy. And I look down at this guy, and his face is like, oh, you know, he's all screwed up, man. He's in bad shape. And I'm just like thinking to myself real quick, I'm like, well, dude, I start pumping on his chest, you know, I'm like, well, if you make it, you're probably not going to have any sex for any time soon, you know, like, you know, kids or whatever. But it turned out he was a marshal, and he didn't make it. It was bad fire. But I always say that was like the wishbone thing, where you're trying to do the right thing, and you're just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
the guy's balls against
just trying to pull him out as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And
don't rescue me, please.
I mean, we laugh about it, obviously, but if we don't laugh about it, we're fucking.
I never had one at a fire, but I had Ray. Remember the nursing home we used to go to all the time, right by the fire?
Oh yeah, the
Midway
God's waiting room down the hall, down on
dude,
the service road.
And now when you're the chauffeur,
you got a couple of firehouses called God's waiting room.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So when you're the chauffeur, you're driving. You don't go out and see if you sit in the rig and wait. But I'm working overtime and somebody else is driving. And Evans gives me the can, which means I got CPR. We get up there, and of course the nurses do nothing. Right? I look over, they got a mask on, but the oxygen's turned off on this whole broad. Right? So I'm like, holy shit. So I go to Evans goes, take a pulse. I pick up her hand, and she's got a compound fracture. The bones coming through her wrist. They must have either leaned on her or something. Her freaking bones coming through the wrist. It's disgusting. Somebody else is got the bag on, and they're pumping it, but I guess it's going into her belly, and they take the mask off, and the vomit flies all in my face, bro. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. CPR shit. No more, bro. Fuck overtime. I'm not taking it anymore.
Oh, you were the chauffeur all the time. That's why.
I joined the Volleys in 1976. They had the Emerson positive pressure resuscitator, like the job had when I got on. And like if you learn CPR, they wanted you to put a lip lock on somebody, you know. And have you ever done mouth to mouth? If you ever done it, you never want to do it again. You want to take your mouth out and leave it somewhere, you know.
Disinfect it.
You know,
That's like, how you got that 2.5-inch line.
I've never done this before.
You know, so like, you know, time goes on, technology gets better. Like you were saying before, if the chief was saying before, if the guys in the 60s had our fire gear, you know, they would have saved the world. They could have put out Hiroshima, you know. Then they came up with these like C-tube things where you didn't have to actually put a lip lock on somebody.
It's a one-way valve.
Yeah, one-way valve, right.
It was like a revelation.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do this all day long.
I got him in my truck. I still have one in my truck. Like I
still carry one in my truck, you know. You know, but like it really made a difference in saving lives. You know, you drag somebody out of an apartment and
especially when they had the high five going around.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing how things have changed. I came on the job in '83 as a medic, and you know, they didn't have none of them universal precautions or none of that shit, or all this prima donna equipment and what have you not. You know, you got somebody who vomited in your face, and you got blood all over you. From
blood was like the king.
It was considered a good run. It wasn't considered you're begging for trouble.
There's some people you know you're not putting your lips on. They're dying.
Yeah.
They're fucking dying.
Ray, I'm sorry. You're one of them, Ray. I ain't putting my lips on.
Listen, Kevin, if I need a lip lock from you to live,
I fucking dragged you out here, but I'm not fucking putting my mouth on yours.
Hey, I got to ask you a question from the chat. So this is from a while back, and they said, can each of you guys remember your very first oh shit moment?
When I actually shit my pants, or like a
no.
Like what kind of oh shit? Like
oh my god,
shit, I gotta put a lip lock on that motherfucker.
No,
you know?
Oh shit, I might die, or oh shit, this is bad. Like, you know, something like that.
My oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
A few of those moments, but mostly towards later on.
Well, my first couple of fires, it's like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
Heck,
you know, I was up in Uptown. They had these huge buildings, you know, crawling down a hallway, 50 feet. Making a right, going another 20 feet, finding the fire, and no mask. You're fucking throwing up, trying to keep up with the old timer, you know, and I'm going, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
And we get in there, and it was a small bathroom fire, and we got the hand pump, and I'm pumping. He's putting this thing out. He goes, I think it's a mannequin, and I'm saying to myself, mannequin? That's a fucking body. But I didn't say nothing. Because I was Joe the new guy. And he goes, just keep pumping. I'm pumping. Fucking, he pulled it out. The bro was all dead, you know, pulled her out. And he goes, yeah, it's a mannequin. I said, John, that ain't a mannequin. And now I'm fucking got 2 months on. He goes, that ain't a mannequin? I go, no. Ain't a mannequin.
Ain't a mannequin.
Wound up,
I was up there doing it, Steven.
It was a hooker that they killed and set on fire.
Well, she probably deserved it. I don't know.
So getting back to that,
The check bounced.
getting back to oh shit, getting back to oh shit. As you're crawling down that fucking hallway, going, where the fuck are we going? You can't see nothing. You're fucking throwing up. I'm on the guy's ass. You know, wherever he's going, I'm going. That's an oh shit moment.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
But you love it.
I was going to say that, Chief. I was surprised how fast how scared I was initially, like going into fires, but how much I loved. I couldn't wait to go to more fire. Like I
loved the mayhem.
As much as I could do.
Go back.
I don't know why that
crazy
is.
shit that was going on. You loved
The
it even more.
adrenaline was the best.
If you missed a fire, it was like, I mean, the worst thing that could happen to you. It really could be the worst thing that could happen to you.
When I was younger, I didn't want to go on furlough or daily. I missed a fire. I was pissed.
Sick.
You know, it's just the way it was.
I didn't want to cook. You go out shopping, you miss a fire. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you something, Chief. Who is Nacho? He's beating you up in there, bro.
That's Wino. You know,
he's talking about some kind of dildo on your forehead or something. I don't know.
Oh God. Hey, Wino, send me that picture, Wino. I'll put my phone up. I can't find it right.
Speaking of pictures, actually, Chief Crooker, Ray sent me an image from one of your wild parties at the firehouse. And he wanted to know who this young lady was sliding the pole.
It's my first girlfriend.
They were in grammar school together.
Jeez.
We were talking about that's actually him. We were talking about the edictomy. That's Chief Crooker.
I thought that was his probie picture sliding the pole.
Listen, you got to ask Mitch. You got to ask Mitch about Mrs. Cooper.
Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, I'll tell you about Mrs. Cooper.
This is classic.
All right, so we had this lady. We would get these invalid assist, okay? And so
did you date any of them?
No. Listen, you could smell this lady 3 blocks away.
Again, did you date her?
So she would call every day, and she would want to get brought down.
She was wrong for your farm, brother.
Say she was going for a medical appointment or a doctor's appointment or whatever you not, and she'd come back at the end of the day and she'd be drunk and she was fucking at the gambling boats and shit, and you'd have to free her up. Very difficult, big woman, very difficult, very hard to get down.
Define big, like over 5'8".
Everybody's big to him.
She was about 5'8" around. She used to call me Shorty. She used to call me Shorty. So
did she really?
No, I'll tell you what he's done. It was hysterical.
One day, I'm sound asleep. I'm up in my room. And my room is at the front of the firehouse. Sound asleep. I hear out front.
Beeping the horn.
There's a horn, a car horn beeping. I go, what the fuck? I get up. I look out the window. Fucking Mrs. Cooper in her car. Come on and get me. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm going out the window. I'm saying, get the fuck out of here. Come on, Shorty. Come on.
Come on, Shorty.
Wait. Let me take it from here. So he calls me. He goes, we got a problem. This fucking lady.
What's this wee shit? You got a mouse in your pocket?
So I go to district. I said, listen, we got a problem with this lady. So the deputy, the district chief, they get involved. We go meet this lady at her house. She was in the 5500 block of Congress Parkway.
5552.
I know.
Oh my
God. You still got a number in your little black book.
It was a shit block. Anyway, so the deputy and the district chief are talking to her, and they're trying to explain to her, you're abusing the system. You can't do this. You got to be nice to the men. And she turns to Mitch. She goes, who, Shorty? I like Shorty.
I'm sure Mitch, she does.
He put a fried an egg on his head.
Hey, listen. Hold on to that story. Wino just sent me this picture. Let's see if you could see it. Wait.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Hey, it's a unicorn.
It's a unicorn.
So
Jesus.
one night, it's about midnight, 1 o'clock at night.
1 o'clock in the morning, Mike.
So we get a stove for a fire. 5552 West Congress Park.
Oh my God.
I hear the address. I'm fucking flying. Well, he's there first. We got a fire. I'm flying in, right? So
No way.
I pull up. They're leading out. I go, Mitch, we got to get her. He goes, fuck her. I said, Mitch, she can't walk. We got to get this fucking broad. We got to get her. Fuck her. He's going in. So we searched the second floor. We can't find her. Where is this lady? All of a sudden, a fireman comes. She's on the back porch. She crawled out to the back porch, right? She's all smoked up. I said, okay, we got to take her down. So they take her down on a fucking a fat tarp. You know what they call them?
The cargo
Fat
net.
top.
The
Cargo
big
net.
fat person thing.
Cargo
Gizmo.
nets.
Yeah.
He bounced her head on every fucking step. Every step going down.
Allegedly.
All you heard was boom, boom, boom.
Maybe that was the first time he gave CPR, right? Maybe that's his first experience.
By the time she got down to the ground, she was unconscious.
So what she did was she called on the gangbangers for doing the deals on the corner, and they got wind of it, so they lit her basement up.
They lit her up.
They did a rather nice job of it, and it went up, and Mrs. Cooper was never to be had again. And I'll tell you what, for a couple of weeks after that, I was circling the neighborhood and the block. I wanted to invite them guys over for lunch. Whoever.
Good job, boys.
No, did you see that Dave? What's his name? Dave Towers. He wrote the good thing about having a hook of dye on you is the second round is free.
That's some cold shit. That's fantastic.
I tell you, those were the nastiest runs. Like the big, when you had to use the cargo nets.
Oh, dude.
Oh, they were
500 to
terrible.
1,000 pounds. Oh,
we had a fat guy had about 600 pounds stuck in his bathtub, buck naked. But we couldn't get him out of the fucking tub.
They always had no clothes on. Like, what the fuck? Put some clothes
He
on.
had
They
about
probably couldn't.
8,000 cases of soda in his house.
Put on Louis Drapes or something. Give me a break.
They were nasty.
This
big
stuff
balls, always like
Chicago.
elephantitis of the nuts.
Yeah, we had this chick, and like we put her in the Stokes, and she overflowed the Stokes. So like we're sliding it down the stairs, like losing a rope, and like she's so big in the project hallway that her hips and shoulders are catching on the side on the walls, going down the stairs. And her husband's like this little skinny Spanish guy, and he's like
always right,
like bro, stop feeding this chick, And she's like, my skin. I'm like, no, it's not your skin, it's your fat. You gotta stop fucking eating, lady.
What were you gonna say, Chief?
I'm just saying, in the city of Chicago, these invalid runs and these removals have gone to biblical, absolute insanity proportions.
Oh, it's all over the world. It's crazy.
It is absolute insanity, and we have members getting hurt left and right.
Yeah.
Including putting people off the job.
Yeah, we had the same thing happen. Yeah.
And they start this shit in these programs, and they never end. They only increase, and it is very, very, very disheartening.
It ain't easy to move somebody from the 6th floor who can't get it. You can't put in an elevator.
Like 500-600 pounds.
You're getting
800 pounds.
Person multiple
600, 800-pound people. Oh my God! Listen, I'm feeling pretty good about me right now.
You're getting them multiple times a day.
Yep.
And I mean, it's I mean, there's companies out there doing 20, 25, 30 runs a day, and they're getting pounded with 15 invalids a day.
Yeah.
Guys are getting hurt, and they're exhausted by the time they get to work and fire.
I mean, there's quite a statement that the special operations company had a cargo net, like an airline cargo net,
we had
part of their inventory for these kinds of runs.
Yeah.
We used to set up the high point in the stairs, right, to go around to get them down the stairs.
Yep.
I tell you, tell this Terry Riley, this cheap prick, $1.99. He can't even afford $2.
Come on, Terry, you cheap bastard.
What do you say? A shot? What is it? The night raids. What's a night raid?
Oh, fuck. I'll tell you what. The night raids are, I would go up pretty early at night and call it quits.
And pray nothing happened.
Well, that usually wasn't the case. I knew I was in big trouble when somebody knocked on my door. Mitch, I knew I was in for some bad shit. That's all I can tell you. I mean, I don't even know if it's permissible to talk about.
Yeah, you can't say
probably not.
The statute of limitations will never end. I'm telling you what, in my career, it'll never end. They will dig my corpse up and convict me. That's how bad it is.
Really? You ever wind up getting teabagged? Is that maybe right?
That he can talk about.
That he can talk about. On. Terry Riley's done it. I'm telling you right now.
So you guys were both chiefs. You had to have frequent flyer asshole firemen that you had to deal with all the time.
Oh, we had some crazy guys.
This Brian Nars is late to the
party. No names.
Oh no.
He's in the chat.
Oh yeah.
No, the chat guy. He says, "Tell him about the invalid we had on the west side."
We just did. You got to rewind.
Mrs. Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
No, that's a chat name. That's a chat name.
Every company had their regular. That they would go a couple times a day, every day.
Every day.
And it's like clockwork. They call if they couldn't find their clicker. It fell under the bed.
I couldn't believe those people stayed alive. Like I would say to myself, I'm going to die tomorrow, but these people will just keep like through the winter. Like they would live.
How they live? Strawberry pop and potato chips.
I don't know what they.
I don't know how they.
I don't know how they did it.
I just say that all the time. My father died at 57 years old. Worked out like a madman. But meanwhile, we go on 50 runs a month for Tommy the Bum, who was living on the fucking street in a garbage can. Tommy the Bum. Remember him?
And who was the woman that was on Grand all the time, drunk? She would chase you with the cane. Like she didn't want to go in the ambulance all the time. She would run at people, yell at people all the time.
Yeah, that was Garo's favorite. I forget her name. She had no electricity in the house. Yeah. She used to light candles and fires in the trash can.
We had this guy, like when I worked in 108, and this guy he was a junkie. And he was always getting in fights on the street, and he would always show up at the firehouse, tuned up, bloody. We would give him first aid, wrap him up in bandages, and send him on his way. He never wanted anything more than, just some bandages,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, this guy, why is this guy alive? And then I hadn't seen him for years. I'm thinking, he went the way the junkies always do. And one day I had the seat. I'm driving 108, going down the block, and guy go walking down the block. Holy shit, that's that motherfucker. I stop the rig. Right? I jump out and go, hey, you know me? How the fuck are you still alive? And he's like, I cleaned myself up. I stopped doing drugs.
Shit.
I was like, I was like 5 years later. I go, God bless America. I mean, good for you. I mean, but it's like, I said, this guy was like, every third day he'd be coming to the firehouse all tuned up, bloody, tuned up fights, I mean, he'd come, we'd binge him up, wrap him with gauze and put some iodine on him and send him on his way.
We call them bumsicles.
Yeah.
You find them in the bushes, frozen stiff.
A bumsicle. Holy shit. What the fuck is wrong with you, animals?
We had one of those one day. Remember Louis Sherry ice cream?
No.
They had a big factory in Brooklyn, and they went out of business, but they left all the old ice cream trucks like abandoned. So we go to Rubbish Fire one day, and a couple of Spanish kids come over and goes, fireman, there's a green guy in that truck. What do you mean a green guy? There's a green guy. So we go in there, some dead homeless guy made like his little abode in one of the Louis Sherry ice cream trucks. And he was there so long, he was all moldy, so he was green.
Nice.
Like the kids found the green guy in the Louis Sherry ice cream truck.
The fucking leprechaun.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Your taller brother.
You can't.
Jesus. Mitchie Croker.
I tell you right now, there's nothing you could say to that, Chief. He hadn't heard yet, man.
Come on, nothing.
Nothing.
No, listen.
Which guy broke your balls the most? Which guy? Well, I would say that. Which guy was the funniest guy?
I'll tell you what. When I go back all the years, there was a guy, God rest his soul, fantastic fireman. His name was Bobby Walsh. He was kind of a mentor of mine, and nobody can bust balls like Bob Walsh. Nobody. He was the best of the absolute best. He pulled me aside one day years later and he says, you know what? I reached about everybody I fucked with, but I could never reach you. It was like one of the greatest comments I ever got. I was going, you mean you're actually fucking with me? Jeez, I thought it was
but that's the best part, man. That's the best part.
I used to love the guys I couldn't get to.
Oh,
because you would chase them even more.
I discussed this, back in August when I was on the show, and the reality of it is, and that's something that's changed in the fire service. There is a legitimate hazing in the fire service to gain your acceptance. And, I'm not talking about you got to beat the piss out of somebody or what have you not, but the reality of it is when they fuck with you, they like you. Yeah. And it's
I always thought exactly, but I always thought
you gotta be a man.
If I can get a guy to lose his crackers in the kitchen, what is he going to do when the fire flow when the shit hits the fan?
Well, absolutely. And I said it was one of my favorite sayings. You go at 8:30 in the morning, nobody fucked with me. I start fucking with myself. I figured
something's wrong here.
I never liked you.
I figured that there was something wrong, and it was an absolute legitimate form of acceptance. I mean, I welcomed it, and it's like all the way up to the day I left, even as a battalion chief.
Yeah.
But I didn't get fucked with on a daily basis.
That's the only reason you studied, probably.
They thought there was something wrong. You say, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like studying. It was like a guy told me when I first came on. He goes, "Hey, kid, we all go to the firehouse for 24 hours a day, except some of us make more money than others." I go, "That's pretty
figure it out. Pretty quick to figure that out." Hell yeah.
What about the guys who were very good at dishing it out but couldn't take it, bro? Love those guys.
Thin skins, love the hemophiliacs, love them.
There were those that were involved as well, and it's
well, that's when you got to know when you got to cut it right there before it goes too far. But you always got to have fun, because this is a job that these guys see people at their worst. They see death, they see destruction. So you gotta have some type of fun. I mean, you just can't walk around for 24 hours being serious.
Nah, humor.
Definitely, she's exactly right.
You gotta have fun.
I tell the story. I might have told it on the show already. Ruff, who was the biggest ball breaker who had thin skin?
Your brother.
My brother Richie. My brother Richie was a fantastic ball breaker, funny as can be, but couldn't take it. So
he can pitch, but he can't catch.
Exactly. And he had quite possibly the worst rug I've ever seen on anybody's head. He had on his head. So one day, dude, bang. Dude. So one day, right? Me and all my brothers and friends of the family, we go out to this German restaurant in Queens, and he's fucking.
Stammtisch, the best German restaurant in the world.
He's fucking hammering me. He's laughing. He's hammering me. He's laughing, right? So sitting at another table by himself is a highway cop with the fucking boots up to here, eating his dinner, right? By himself. So my brother's hammering me, and I just turn to the highway cop. I go, "Officer, do me a favor. If you see that thing on the top of his head move, just fucking shoot it." The guy fucking, dude. And the food
spit out his
tartar.
Did you know about the trip Mike Nacho and I had at Mount Rushmore? Did you hear about that?
Who, me?
Tell us.
What is that?
We are right there.
We're all in Mount Rushmore. Which one's Nacho?
And Mike Larkin.
So which one is Nacho?
In the middle.
It's between your legs. It's not your ass, not your balls.
There's me, and then the other guy's a captain on the job now. So that's what you get when you study.
That guy looks a little crazy. The guy with the glasses.
Right there.
Yeah, who's the guy with the glasses?
You gotta have fun. You know what?
The firehouse has got to be fun. You got to laugh.
That is a captain on the Chicago Fire Department. Who is that? The guy with the glasses.
He said that's Mount Mushmore.
Mount Mushmore.
If we're not laughing all day, something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. The fire's supposed to be fun.
Oh my God, my face hurts.
I'm going there to have a good time. They're paying me, and I'm getting to go to a fire.
Oh my God, the best of everything, right?
I tell you,
and you're gonna eat good.
Oh yeah, you might.
And you're gonna get 2 good meals.
Otherwise,
Otherwise,
catch a ball game, maybe play some cards, catch a ball game. I don't know. Right?
Worst firehouse cook.
I'll tell you what, you could have the worst day. The worst day at the firehouse, and it's relaxing.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. You could go to 3 fires, you could have 10 ambulance runs, you could do, and it's still relaxing. Then when you go home, it's bullshit.
How many times in your career did something come up where you had to go somewhere or be somewhere or some doings, and you prayed to God you were at the firehouse? There's the greatest excuse of getting out of something.
Oh yeah,
you got to come to my mother's 30th anniversure. I'm like, I got to work. I can't get out of it.
I mean, you're a fireman.
I can't get a trade.
Look at that. Can't get off.
I can't get off.
I can't get a trade, honest.
I can't get a trade.
So, Rookie, what we used to say, what's better than a Friday night in a firehouse?
There's only one night better than Friday night in the firehouse.
Saturday
night.
Saturday night in the firehouse, baby.
Sunday night in the firehouse was great. Football game on.
Yeah, that too. Worst cook, John LaRocchia. John LaRocchia made what the hell is that stuff called? What's that white protein that
whey?
Sperm?
No, sperm.
Tofu?
Tofu.
Protein.
He made tofu lasagna. The worst fucking
Oh my
God.
God.
That guy wouldn't be cooking again.
Yeah.
Not a chance in the world. We used to make this guy. Microwaves were new, like in the 80s. You didn't have a lot of the microwaves. This guy wanted to make this thing with he used to call it like 7 cheeses, macaroni. He wanted to put it in the microwave. So they started calling this guy Jesus of Nazareth. And this shit was inedible. It was like, oh yeah, nice meal. Throw right in the fucking garbage.
What's that white stuff? You know what I'm talking about? Sperm. Steaming.
The white protein.
Dave in the chat is saying, when Mitch was thrown in the dryer at 77.
Oh boy.
Easy on that story. Easy on that story.
All right. I'm going to have to really condense that and change a few things.
The thing about Dragnet, change it. Protect the innocent,
Well, yeah. I'm going to do you know what? It's going to take the punch right out of this, but I'll do what I can do here. So, it was we were over at a firehouse and we decided that we were going to make a movie, and the movie was called Short Fella. All right.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Correct. True story.
I mean, I don't even know what
he's got pictures to prove it too.
The video somewhere here, but
is that on the wall behind you?
So to make a long story short, this was an all-day affair to make this.
You can do that, make something short.
Well,
they did.
This was all day because the first skit took 4 hours long to make. It was about a 2-minute video. It took 4 hours to produce it, only to find out that it didn't take. So we had to redo it.
Pete knows about that.
But the long story,
he's working on a squadometry.
The long story short. So
take your time, Pete. Rome's burning.
This was great. It was well done. I was just the star. I was not the producer, and nothing.
You were proud of it.
The technical ordeal on this, but it was called Short Fella. So, the chief calls for roll call. He shows 0800 on the clock. They ring the bell. Everybody lines up, and and everybody's standing up, and it says, "Where's Mitch?" Well, I got my fire. We all got our fire gear on. I'm kneeling on my shoes. Okay, so I look like I got no legs.
So he's shorter.
Yeah, he goes, that guy's too short. Stretch him. So movie takes place again, and the next thing you know, I'm on somebody's shoulders, but these fire coats on, and now I was
pretty good.
Yeah, now I got too big.
He's too tall.
Then he lines us all up again and says, "That man is too tall. Shrink him." So down we go into the basement. Down we go into the basement. They show him stuffing me into the dryer, and they close the door. They turn it on, and then they show the clock. It's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. They're in the kitchen playing cards, and he comes back and he says, "Hey, where the hell did Mitch go?" And it's like they forgot about me. They throw the cards and they go back downstairs, and they open the dryer up, and they're all looking at each other. And they pulled this little 2-foot kid out who lived next door. We come over to Firehouse visitor all the time, and we pulled him out of the dryer.
Oh my God, that's freaking awesome!
It was very well put together.
Fantastic.
It was hilarious when I tell you, hilarious.
Yeah.
You still have the video or no?
Well, let me tell you what. That's a video where the statutory or whatever law limitations will never end. So
that's freaking funny, man.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a slow day. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Slow days in the firehouse, like a recipe for trouble.
Listen, when firemen got time, they could cure cancer. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You just tell them this and let them go, and they'll come up with a cure, right?
Yeah, but instead they're throwing people into a fucking dryer.
Well, you gotta have some laugh time.
Yeah, you gotta blow some steam.
The what's that called? It's white protein. What do they call it?
Semen.
I still can't get that out of my head. Like sperm.
It sounds like jizz to me.
That's fucking incredible, Coop. You lobbed up a beach ball for the guy.
Right?
It's white protein.
That is hardly that's all estrogen, man.
He still got it. He still got it, Timothy. He's got it, bro.
Oh my God! The whole time
you guys
you
are
keep
killing
telling
me.
that story, I keep telling him. He's just like, "Yeah, semen, Mo."
Oh, that's
Holy
great!
shit.
Oh my God!
Hey, Nacho says man goo.
Man goo, yummy. Yum.
Maybe Nacho likes mango on his nachos.
Yeah, maybe.
What's on his old lady's box? That's the bottom line.
Hey, let me tell you about that Mike Nacho, the Wino. So we call him Wino. It's short for his full name, but the man ain't right. He's just not. he sleeps outside on the veranda of that firehouse on a couch all night long, all year long.
Really? No in the winter?
I think he has a limit. As soon as it hits 19 degrees, I think he
comes in.
Inside, but yeah,
dust them off and bring them in.
Yeah, and
brush the snow off him.
I mean, he's a funny guy. He's a phenomenal fireman. He's a phenomenal roof.
Is he an officer or just a fireman?
No, he's a fireman. He's a phenomenal roof man. But I'll tell you what.
You can't let him know that shit now, bro.
What's his main job, Mitch?
Nobody could throw up like him.
What's his main job, Mitch?
Who, Wino?
Yeah. To ball bust you.
The ball bust me, and that's what he does.
Wow, he seems very proficient.
And he is very. Listen, he should have been a comedian, not a fireman. That's all I can tell.
Listen, you said he was a great roof man?
Yep, I did.
So listen, roof man's an important job.
Yeah, it is.
So what makes him a great roof man?
A couple of things. One is because Wino doesn't operate unsafe. He can absolutely operate without supervision. Get the job done, know where to get it open, gets it open. He's extremely phenomenal driver. He can get the men there. I mean, a roof guy who drives the truck. but he knows how to spot the apparatus. He knows how to read a building. He knows where to open a roof. He knows when to open it. He operates safely. He's just got a knack to do that, in my opinion. And the biggest thing is he can make decisions on his own. He can
they have to.
He can oversee others on that roof.
I'm gonna cry.
And I'm very confident. I'm very confident in him working on that roof without having to be super.
Is he still on the job?
Absolutely, he is.
Good for him.
And he's going to send you a Valentine card, most likely.
Said, thanks, Mitch.
Well, I mean, and all joking aside, he's a funny guy, and I mean an absolute funny guy. But when it comes time to be serious, Mike is.
That's it, right there. That's it.
Business is business. Some of that tofu.
I mean, and I'm just going to tell you, I mean, as long as we're here, I see a couple of these knuckleheads in the chat room. My prize companies 54 and truck 20 in my battalion at the end of my career they were some of the best of the best. And mind you, we talked about the newer generation of kids, and I had mentioned that we do get good people on this job. It's just that we leave a lot of them out because they're not allowed to test freely. These guys are young kids, and they're the best of the best. I mean,
Chief, I was going to say that.
I am very proud of everybody who served in my battalion. Every single one of them.
That's a great accolade. It really is.
Did exactly what I asked them to do without question. They were very, very loyal to me. And you know what? There's not a thing that I wouldn't have done for them on the job and as well as off the job. And I am truly blessed that I had the people I had under my command.
More than that.
Because two things. I can really stick my neck out tactically, as we talked about earlier, and do some things that were tactically risky, not putting people at risk, but if this goes bad, what I'm going to attempt, everything's going to take a shit. Now,
fucking job is dangerous. You gotta,
but I'm just, I mean, the tactics that I used, I would not dare use them in a lot of parts of the city.
You have to go by the talent that you have available.
I wouldn't.
Got to know your players.
I wouldn't have the people to carry them out.
Yeah.
And they made me look good. And I have.
You didn't need them.
I have been gone 13 months now, and I mean, this isn't a feel good session, but this is about the fire service, and there's a lot of people that are listening right now. Go to that firehouse every day and be the best you can be. Love what you do, and these guys made me look good.
I was going to say this earlier when you were talking like that, and when we first started this show, it's easy to to bash, right? Because it's not the same. The fire service isn't the same when you were on the job, right? When's the best time? When I was on the job, right?
Yes.
And everybody feels that way, right? But I'm sure Kevin and even Pete, but Kevin and I, we go around to these shows, and I have to say, there's a lot of young guys who are carrying the torch, right? I have a good feeling. As much as I say, it ain't the same. It's never the fucking same, right? It's never the next group that's coming in is never the same as the old group. But
the only thing that's constant is change, right? Change.
We got a lot of young guys, man, and Kevin will say it. We got a lot of young guys that are, have their hearts in the right spot. They're doing the right thing, and
they're still hungry.
They're still hungry, and they're aggressive.
We meet them at every show.
We got a shot. Yeah,
we meet them at every show.
We got a chance.
So excited.
We got a chance. You know what I mean? We really have. There's some good guys out there that are carrying on the tradition. And that's really the most important thing.
If these cities would stick to the way that they used to hire firemen, they would have grade A fire departments. I'm telling you. When I came on the job, it was a grade A fire department. When I left the job, I don't think I could say that. I mean, in the area that I worked, in the area that Mitch worked, they were grade A firemen. But other parts of the city, you would have to use different tactics to get by.
No, because
you didn't have the horses.
But that's not the guys all the time. It's the way they're being, what they're hiring, right? So that's the bottom line but there is a lot of young guys that are getting on the job, that contact us, that email us, that love the job. So
I was blessed, and it was the same way in Mike's battalion. The both of the battalions were so synonymous with each other. We got the work. We had the players. Both battalions had the absolute positive, go get them, ball busting idea way of doing things. But his battalion, like my battalion, each candidate class has like 5 guys, the top candidates in each class, who get their picks of where they want to go. And his battalion, as well as my battalion, a lot of these guys that ended up in the top of that class, that graduating class, migrated to companies like ours. And we were blessed to have that talent. And you don't go to those 2 battalions if you don't want to work.
Oh, for sure.
So it kind of takes care of itself. And
if you want to work, you're going to find, even if you go to a slower house, if you want to work, you're going to find the work.
You're going to find a way to get out of.
You're going to find a way to get to the fire. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Plus, I used to ask kids, "What do you do on the side?" I'm a plumber. I want that kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm an electrician. I want him too.
Because he's used to working hard.
I had to get all my tradesmen in case I needed work done in my house. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
All I needed was a heating and air guy.
Mikey Woods.
HVAC. That's it. Mikey Wood, baby. Love that guy.
Oh,
my face.
But
right,
I mean, just blessed, to have good people.
I said the same thing about my career. I was blessed in my career. I worked in great places with great people, and I had a breadth of experience that I never thought that I would have working for the New York City Fire Department.
Best job in the world.
What a legendary department FDNY is, and it's just. I said it back in the day. My dad brought a book home from the firehouse. He says, "You might want to read this," and it was Dennis Smith's first book. And you know what? I think I read it cover to cover before I put it down, and that's how I got. This is exactly what I wanted to do.
Got hooked.
The same thing. I read that book and I said, "That's what I'm going to do."
Yeah,
a lot of people.
Yeah. Anybody got any shout outs or last minute? I gotta say, I appreciate you guys coming on. This was like a last minute thing, and I really appreciate you guys.
But Mitch was waiting in his living room for this.
I'll tell you what, and this is the God's honest truth. I just left my Arizona home 2 days ago, and the night before I left, I was visiting a friend of mine. He's a Marine, former Marine, Vietnam helicopter Huey pilot. And he mentioned something about he was on a podcast and he wanted to send me the link. I says, "Yeah, I'll go ahead. Send it to me." He says, "By the way," I go, "I was on one too. I'll send you that link." So he watched the entire podcast from August 1st. And, he absolutely loved it. And he sent me some kind words, but it was so funny because I said to him, I was very, very, very happy to do it. And I was glad that it was done over and complete. And 2 days later, my phone blows up. I get this text, hey, Wild Man, you want to be on with but I mentioned it in a text, and I won't hold everybody up here. But I had some sour feelings going out the door on when I had left the job. I was not going to abide by a vaccine mandate, and I had quit against my will. I wasn't going to do it. I was not going to give up my medical freedom and my rights that so many people have died for, and have given me that right to make that decision, and I was going to respect it. But I'll tell you what, that podcast that I did back in August, you guys really, really, really made my day, giving me that opportunity to do so, because it literally cleansed my soul of ill will and bad feelings, and made me feel exactly like I felt my entire career and the way it should have been.
That's
and
so
I
good.
Absolutely mean this from the bottom of my heart, that the conclusion of that podcast in August was like closure to my career that I hadn't gotten. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And this is a fantastic thing that you guys do. And, I'm just blessed to be in the company
We're blessed
of all of
Are
you.
you kidding me? We're blessed.
We don't know what
the hell we're doing. We're winging this shit.
No, you ain't winging anything. You're doing a fine job.
You're doing a great job.
And it's guys, because of you guys. I mean, you make us look just like you said, man. You guys make it really easy.
And that the New York Fire Department has always been legendary to me. And to sit in the same chat room with another with New York firemen talking about the fire service is an absolute privilege. And you were looking for another guy, so I had to bring another Chicago Jag off.
Hey,
a better guy than Mike.
You guys definitely have to come down if we do the Florida thing. Chief
Timothy
came down. I think we're going to do it again.
Jagaloons.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was the first time we met him. That really was a lot of fun.
We had a ball too.
Yeah, we'll do it again. I got to talk to Hank, see what we got going on.
If we could get the same place or something else.
I think I'm going to try to get a bar with the restaurant so we can eat and drink right there, and kind of be in one place.
I'll tell you, we do our from the guys that came on the job with. We do a party in Florida in February,
right?
And last year we got 43 guys. The year before that we had 52.
Wow.
So it's a nice time. And we do it at this island bar.
Why'd you bring it out to my house in Arizona in the middle of August? It'll feel like you're still trying to make
you're on the floor above. It'll feel like you're on the floor above.
Only about 115 degrees.
And we might be coming out by you because we're doing a show from the Firehouse Museum out there. Is that close to you?
Oh, the Hall of Flame.
Yeah.
When are you going out there?
I don't know yet. The guy just texted me the other day. I have to
Hopefully
see
not
what works
fucking
for
August.
me. No. It's in the winter.
Oh,
probably like February or something. I'm not sure.
Good thinking.
Well, I'm going to be out there up until the first 10 days of February. It's a great place, that Hall of Flame. Interesting place.
Yeah, it is cool. So we're probably going to go out there and do a show from there. We'll see.
Well,
and that's the story.
Talking to you guys.
You guys was great, dude. My face hurts.
My face. Are you kidding me? Right now? Are you kidding me? My face. I can't feel my face.
Hey, your face. I had to shave for it tonight. It's about the first time in 4 days.
We always love having Fat Daddy come on, bro. See different angles to the fattiest of the daddiest.
Chief Timothy he's going to be a regular. He shows up to everything, and now
love it.
Chief Croker now.
Never miss a party.
I had a great time. Thank you. Thanks so much. It went so fast.
Meeting you, Ray.
It was nice meeting you guys too. It was a pleasure. I want to meet you guys in person.
And honor being in the same room as you.
Well, you got to come down to Florida for the party.
Yeah, I'm coming to Florida. Let's go to Florida.
It's the St. Patty's Day parade. We go down there for
in March.
We all crash at Hank's.
Oh, down Fifth Avenue, yeah.
And he gives us rules. Hank has a lot of rules.
Oh, he's got a lot of rules there, bro. Don't make no mess in Hank's house.
He was a senior man in the firehouse. He's still the senior man when we go to his house. I'm a 54-year-old man.
That guy, he's tied in the frog's ass in a rainstorm, man.
That place is fucking tight.
Is that what he says? He shows us his room. He goes, and this is the last time you'll step foot in this room. I was like, all right. No problem. All right. Look, you got any shout-outs, buddy?
No, the only thing I was going to talk about was what the chief talked about earlier with Rescue 2. That was the only thing. Just pray for Firefighter Moon. And,
all right. I got a shout-out to a young firefighter, a friend of the family, who went to a party at my sister's, and she said, "You're the salty guy. My son watches you all the time in the firehouse." So his name is James Rubino, and he's in the Berkeley Heights Fire Department. That's in Jersey, I believe. So shout out to young James Rubino, who's trying to get on the FDNY. He's a volley out there right now. He's a young kid. So I hope he's watching.
Don't stop at anything to pursue what you want in life.
Yep.
Go after it, kid. Keep going. Stop at nothing. Don't let anybody take it away from you.
What you got ready? You want to throw
I wanted actually, it's my goddaughter. It's her 40th birthday. Her father is Donnie Meyer from Rescue 4. Katie Meyer, happy birthday. Love you. Yep.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday, young lady.
My goddaughter, she's part of my life, and I just wanted to say happy birthday.
Beautiful.
Right.
Right. Oh, Ray, you know what? I want to talk to your son there. The guy who came on about
Chris Howard.
We wanted to do something with him on a regular basis. So give him my number. Tell him to call me.
I'll tell him tomorrow.
Okay. We want to do a profile of what he does. Yep. Yeah. All right. Nice. Pete, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to MC's Audio in the chat. He says he's having a rough time with something and he's powering through, and the show helped him out tonight. Well, you know what, bro? You're much as part of the show as anybody. We love
that kid.
Yeah,
love that
man.
kid. He's
love
the
you, buddy.
best.
So MCs, if you're listening, if you're still on, and I hope you are, good shit.
Yeah.
And the last super chat, Dave Toes says, does Mike have an Army PT belt? All is safe beer koozie. There it is. Yeah.
What is that?
I got it from you guys.
The beer koozie.
That's
with a firefighter reflector strap on.
Yeah, that's all of ours. You know what it is? The Army PT belts, they make them wear them anytime they go on a jog, that reflective tape. So
yeah, that's one of our
just so you can find your beer in the dark.
Yeah, exactly. Very important. Oh,
very important.
On the floor,
boys.
Who would think of that but a fireman?
Let me run through these very quickly. All right. Audio guys, you know the deal by now. We're on all of the players, every single one of them, all the podcast players that are out there. So like and subscribe there. Of course, youtube.com/getting-salty experience, where you should like, subscribe, and share. Please. I don't know why the Salty Fans page on Facebook is at 50,000 plus. Exactly. So that we got to get more like, subscribe, and share right here. Okay.
Even if you watch it, even if you listen to it, just do us a favor, jump over to YouTube and subscribe.
Please. That would help us out a lot. Instagram, guys, at Salty Dog Inc. is where you will find Mr. Refrano's curating of the finest fire photos in the game. Also, find us on TikTok for the next couple months while it's still there before the government bans it. We are making waves with some pretty good videos on there, but it will be no more, it seems. So let's see what happens there.
And thank God.
Yeah, probably. GettingSaltyApparel.com, you guys. GettingSaltyApparel.com. That's how we pay the bills around these parts. Head on over there for hats and all the apparel and all that good stuff in the game. Super chat, thank you. Tonight was a wild man's night with the super chat. We appreciate you guys going all out for us. That's why we go all out for you. Getting Salty ads at gmail.com if you guys want to subscribe. Advertise with the show. It's been a long day. I apologize. I will send you the spiel. So if you want to get direct right to the first responder community advertising, hit us up. We have really great returns on that. Getting Salty Experience at gmail.com is the email for the show. General questions, koobspodcast@gmail.com is the podcast email for our Cocklofts and Cocktails show. So your rig photos, your fire photos, the hot old lady contest, your fire helmet cam footage, all that good stuff goes to Koobs. And that is all the news that's fit to print.
Awesome. And also, Patty Lee asked us to pray for Billy Urban. He's not doing so well health-wise, so a couple of prayers for
That's
Billy
my
Urban.
first lieutenant, the Fonz.
Yep.
To call him.
Yeah, he's having problems.
108 guy.
108. One of my senior man, 108.
All right, guys, we got a big week next week. We have Brian Emmendecker from Camden FD. And on the 22nd, we got DC Frank Lieb coming on. So he just recently
good
caught
man,
that
Frank
job.
Lieb, one of my junior guys in Squad 270.
Greg, he should be chief of department now. He really should. He deserves
he
it.
should be.
Yeah, and that's it, gentlemen.
All right,
guys,
boys.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Listen, if
Thank
we
you
don't
for having me. I appreciate it.
Have a great holiday. I'll talk to you, Fat Daddy. Right. My Chicago brethren, have a great holiday, and we hope to have you on again. I'll call you,
Chief.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Chiefs,
Time.
pleasure meeting you guys.
Chiefs
And
and
no,
Chiefs.
Don't hang off
now.
yet. Don't sign off just
Thank
yet.
you.
All
Nice
right.
to meet me.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see me.
All right, fellas. Stay low and go.
All right, everybody. We'll see you at the big one.
No one is coming. No one is coming, guys. It's up to us. Let's do this.